Excellent. Oh, it says Facebook Live. I think I have to go to Facebook Live. Oh no. Oh, there we go. Go live. Three, two, one. And the video is starting. And OBS is our friend. Lisa, I think we did it. Let's see. Are we live on She Achieves Studio? Facebook. We should be live on YouTube. We are live.
Yeah, we are live. Woohoo! You did it. Yes.
We did it. We are live. We are live. Welcome, everyone. This is Shantal from She Achieves Studio, and
I'm Lisa.
Lisa G from The Strong and Sexy Soul. All right, we are here this evening with all of you, whoever is watching. I'm going to see if... Oh, there we are. Look at that. Captions are automatically generated. 2 people are watching. That could be us.
Are we live? I see 4, so
there you go.
I think we're... Yeah.
Okay, I think we're great. So, welcome. This is Warrior Goddess Training this evening.
We live on...
And here we are. We have the Warrior Goddess Training Companion Book. Lisa, where's your companion book? Yeah. And we got the Warrior Goddess Training book, which mine's a little beat up. Yes. Oh, why does mine look different than yours? Look at that.
I don't know.
Mine has coffee stains on it.
I haven't poured coffee on mine.
Just to show everybody, take a look. These are my notes from Warrior Goddess Training. And Lisa gave me this Warrior Goddess Training book. Do you remember what year that was, Lisa?
It was either 2015 or 2016.
Okay. And we're 2024, so 9 years ago?
8 or 9 years ago, yeah.
So Lisa gave it to me, and I read it, and oh, it changed my life so much. I hunted down Heather Ashamara, went to level 1 Warrior Goddess Training Facilitator certification down in San Antonio, Texas. Never been to Texas. I didn't even know where Texas was. I didn't know it was so close to Mexico. But I found that out really quickly. And that was where I did my first fire walk. And that was amazing. Went back for Warrior Goddess Training Level 2 Facilitator certification with my sister-in-law, June Heskett. Hi, June Heskett. And that was the second time I fire walked. And then I ended up getting my firewalk certification. So now I host firewalks up here in Fort McMurray in the wintertime because the summers are just not really conducive for firewalking, as pretty much most of the summer we have a fire ban on. But walking on fire in the winter is amazing. So this is how we ended up here. And then Lisa, you were a participant for the 6-week Warrior Goddess series.
Foundations.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You did the foundations and I joined that.
Yeah, and that was in person at She Achieves Studio. And we went through everything about Warrior Goddess Training pretty much. Do you remember the biggest impact that you that you surrendered into, that you received during that 6-week course? Like, can you remember back?
The biggest thing I was looking through my manual from that was just the judge and the ego, like the voices that we talk to ourselves with, and how they have impacted my own life, but how I see them impacting other women in their own lives. and not having the maybe the tools to be able to shut them off, or um, realign what they're saying with what is more conducive to our healing process, instead of hurting us more with those voices.
Exactly. And we can have judge voice, suffering voice, ego voice, and heart voice with warrior goddess training. And one thing I learned about, I love this, I'll always remember Heather Ashamara saying, you'll never win against the judge if the judge is judging the judge voice. So that means if you're judging someone or something or yourself, and then you're judging yourself for judging, that is a cycle. So tonight, what we're here to do is offer a spiral. So if you're a woman who keeps cycling through the same experiences, steps out of herself, commits to everybody and everything outside of herself, and really wants to be able to commit to you, to yourself, this is the space. And we hold Warrior Goddess Training live stream the first Wednesday evening of each month. So the next Warrior Goddess Training will be next month, the first Wednesday night. And we will go over the schedule of Lisa and I connecting through live stream later on at the end of the Facebook Live. Okay, so for now, let's call in sacred space through the Warrior Goddess Creed. Do you have your creed available, Lisa?
I do.
Beautiful. Look, this is what it looks like. So together, everyone who is watching live and everyone who is watching the replay, if you like, anything that we talk about is only an invitation. It's not an expectation. You get to choose to step in or step out. It's your choice. Okay, we're here to deliver the content and answer questions. So please comment. Let us know you're watching. We want to hear from you. This is for you. We're sharing this love of committing to yourself with you. So please feel free to comment at any time. All right, here we go. Let's start with a belly breath in, a nice long spine. Relax the shoulders, relax the head. Take a gentle and natural belly breath in, navel, heart, third eye, and open mouth, gentle sigh. Warrior Goddess Creed.
I hereby commit to embody my full warrior goddess self.
From this moment forward, I will do my best to
love all of my being,
appreciate the beginnings and endings,
honor my body and mind as a temple,
stay grounded and present,
cultivate my passions and creativity,
own my strength and vulnerability,
open my heart to all of life,
speak my deepest truths,
listen to the wisdom within,
claim my unique path,
and walk the warrior goddess way.
From Heather Ashamara, from the Warrior Goddess Way. And if you'd like a copy of the creed, please comment in the comments and we will DM you the creed. And this is a beautiful invocation, like a prayer, a ritual to create what you want more of. So we know that thoughts become words. Words become actions. Actions become our reality. And what happens sometimes is we have this imbalance between intent, what we want to do, and the action to fulfill it. So sometimes we can have all the intent in the world and not enough action to actually integrate it, or vice versa, where we have all the action, but there's not a lot of intent. So we get really scattered. Does that sound
Hmm.
familiar? Any of those, Lisa?
Very. It sounds very familiar. And I feel like that's been my life for the last 8 to 10 years, honestly, just trying to, um, like how you're like on one of those headways at the airport, if you, you just kind of going with the flow. You don't even need to walk, but it's not really getting you very far.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. And we only have so much life force. And in Guna Yoga School, we call this prana, life force energy. We only have so much of it. So why don't we become conscious of that energy direction? So tonight, we're really focusing on committing to you, taking back that power. Instead of having someone else have power over you or what you think you should be doing, which is power over yourself, we exchange that and we will give you some tangible guidelines and activities so you can reclaim your power within. Because power over is limited and dangerous, and power within is infinite and our truth. I love that.
mhm.
I love it. So, Lisa, what about so as far as commitment goes, where have we been with as far as women and commitment and committing to other people or to ourselves?
I think as women, we tend to be more willing or eager. Um, a lot of us are people pleasers. So we're more willing to fit into societal norms with respect to our roles: mother, wife, sister, daughter, um, whatever your job may be. Um, and we try so hard to pull everything together all the time for everyone else. But um, when it comes time to looking after ourselves, we feel that making that commitment to honor ourselves and do the things that bring us joy or peace or rest, even, um, we always have excuses for those things. And um, through the warrior goddess training, we understand that this is not what is meant for us. That there's so much more out there, and once we start paying attention to all of those things within us that are sparking a little bit of joy or um, enjoyment, for lack of a better word, um, we'll um, we'll be better able to speak our own truth and to have better relationships with the people around us, because we won't be resentful of the fact that we're never looking after ourselves.
Yeah, and for example, hi hun, how you doing? I'm fine. Have you ever said that?
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine when
Once in a
really
while.
you're like, no, I'm not fine because I didn't get a response from my text and da 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 and da 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 and he said, she said, da da da, and it goes on and on. Instead of, thanks for asking, I'm not fine right now,
Mm-hmm.
and go from there. But that can be like so scary for so many women to speak their truth. And in order to speak our truth and to commit to ourselves, we got to feel safe. So this is the root chakra. We got to go back to the beginning. So the root chakra, Muladhara, is earth element. It's tamas guna. It's our stability, our safety within ourselves. Then we have sacral chakra. And what's sacral chakra all about? What's sacral
It's
chakra all
about
about?
enjoyment. enjoyment and pleasure. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
which
enjoyment,
is
pleasure, sexuality, sensuality. So if we have a foundation of safety within ourselves, not external, okay, which is a whole other warrior goddess training in itself. But let's say we have that safety within us, then we can feel pleasure and we can have pleasure in relationships, sexually, sensually, creativity, um, just having fun, allowing ourselves to not only give, but to learn how to receive pleasure, because there are two different wavelengths there, right? I think women know all about giving pleasure. That's part of committing outside of ourselves. But do we how do we receive pleasure? So it's one thing to say, I'm sick, I'm going to honor my body, I'm not going into work today, for example, and feel guilty all day because of it, because you're taking care of yourself, or I'm going to call in sick because I'm not feeling well and totally be okay and watch the Sons of Anarchy or Arrested Development or The Office or whatever it is you watch, for you just sleep or you read or you just tap out, but give yourself 100% permission. So that is the sacral chakra. And then when we get into commit to you, commitment is about the navel chakra, fire energy. So we have earth in the root, tamas guna. We have water in sacral chakra, the sweetness of life, the je ne sais quoi, the fruit, the nectar of the universe. Okay, that is tamas guna. Also earth element. And then we have fire element. And fire element is that navel chakra where we find commitment. But does everyone see how it's really important to have that safety, that pleasure before we commit to ourselves? Does that make sense, Lisa, to you?
yeah. Oh, it definitely does. Um, I think that it's something that, as we know, studying the chakras, that we don't realize is something that happens. It forms in us between the ages of 0 and 7, and it doesn't even really matter, like, if you had a good childhood growing up. Just those ideals are formed in those early years, and um, it as adults we need to understand where they came from and why we act a certain way and how we respond to certain things. And sometimes feeling safe is just about being heard. It's just about knowing that the person that you're sharing yourself with is a safe space to do that. And there's not going to be criticism, there's not going to be yelling or any kind of judgment. And I mean, I grew up in a really good household. Growing up, my parents were kind to me and attentive, but somewhere along the way, I missed something. And and growing up, in my later years, I found that judgment is a big thing for me. Thinking that other people are judging me, even if they're not. There's a disconnect there. And so I need to learn how to um, commit to myself so that those judgments aren't eating at me and forming my relationships now.
Yeah, exactly. And in Guna Yoga School, we call that a badoink. And
I almost said it.
if people's judgment, so what happens is when you do the work and you're willing to receive and you're willing to learn from the past, not live in the past, and accept yourself for who you are, all of you, all parts, the hair that grows out of here, the farting in bed, the
Or in a
burning
yoga class.
the boiled water, whatever it is, okay? Forgetting where you parked, in the parking lot, all of that. And you just begin to observe. And that's really huge in warrior goddess training. It's very huge to learn how to observe because you take yourself out of the identity and the personification that I am my experiences. I am the experiences that I've had with people, places, and things. The thing is, everybody, we are not our experiences. We separate the experiences of life, all of the conversations we've had with people, all of the projections of others onto us, they are separate than our truth. And when we separate them, we're able to walk around and see them in our truth. Okay? So I think that's like very, very, very important. Um, the dog's barking outside, so I'm like, is there a bear? Is there a bear in the backyard? My ears go up, bear. No, there's no bear. So that means that when we're able to no longer take life personally, we create space to be able to see where we commit outside of ourselves and how we want to transform that into commitment within.
I think that a big piece of it is that we need to try, as we're going through this process, not to compare ourselves to others along the way. My journey is different than your journey. We might have similar stories, but our journey is so different. And that's true for a lot of people. We were talking earlier today about how sometimes that little thought comes in that we should be further along than we are. Um, but we need to give ourselves a little bit of grace and just trust that we're where we're supposed to be, and that if we're putting the work in and we're paying attention, we're gonna get there, and we'll be far happier if we're not comparing our journey or our progress to the people around us.
Exactly. I heard a saying years ago, women don't dress for themselves, women dress for other women.
Hmm.
And I found that really, really interesting, and I see it. I mean, I teach yoga, I work with shamanic journeys, energy massage, all of that. And when I'm in a yoga studio, in a public yoga studio, because She Achieves Studio is a private yoga studio. So when I go out to teach in these public studios, it's amazing to see everybody coming together, and it's such a camaraderie in a yoga studio. And then we go out into the world, and I see it in their eyes. Maybe not everyone, of course, but I see how women check other women out, and it's like women are stronger together than apart. So
Hmm.
the thing is if we're judging others, I just wish consciousness on those people, to because they're probably stuck in this self-judgment. And I used to judge so much, I know, and I've gotten to the other side, and now as soon as I come into a judge voice, I snap it, and I'm like, ooh, I'm judging, so then I can course correct right away. But if we're not able to call ourselves out on our own, then how are we ever able to course correct? And that's what I was getting at earlier, was that bedoink is where you grow the glow inside so much it fills up your cells, your memories, your hopes, your dreams, all the disasters, and it glows like a light bulb inside this electromagnetic field. And then around that aura is like a membrane, we call it, and it's like an umbilical cord that's right around, and that secures that beautiful light of truth and self-commitment. So anybody's judgment that comes at you, is we know that it's really their own judgment on themselves being projected onto you. Okay, so we are able to bedoink that judgment and not take it personally, because why would we? Why would we want to take something like that personally? And that's actually really interesting because that's part of the 4 agreements is don't take things personally. And I know that. I know the whole story about taking things personally because I grew up taking almost every instance of my life personally. And now, thankfully, through Warrior Goddess training, yoga teacher training, all of the work, shamanic training, fire walking, the whole bit, walking on broken glass, everything, all of the judgments and taking things personally, I'm now able to observe when it happens, when I fall into that pattern, that cycle, and I'm able to notice it, have coffee with it, lay with it, love it, ask what it needs, raise the vibration, but doink it back and keep going. So I love that. Well, let's get into commit to you. Do you have a favorite line or paraphrase from either the Warrior Goddess Training Companion book or the Warrior Goddess book, Lisa?
Um, I have several, but just to touch on what you said just now, one of the big takeaways I received from this book was when Heather Ash talked about paying attention to how she was feeling in a certain situation. And she talked to herself like she would talk to a loved one, where she would be like, "Hey, sweetie, what do you need right now? What is going on? You know, how can I help you through this kind of thing?" And I think that's one thing that we need to remember is to be gentle with ourselves and talk to ourselves lovingly, and just treat ourselves like we would treat anybody that we love, because our relationship with ourselves is the longest lasting relationship of our lives. So um, we should definitely honor that as much as possible, especially with our words.
Yes, I totally agree. I'm just having a computer glitch. I totally agree. 1 second, please. Something is not happening. There we go. We're really going to work hard to keep everything smooth. I feel that you can't hear me. Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you. It just something's glitching a little bit.
Something is glitching. Okay, so I'm going to do something.
I think we're straight now.
I'm the. Yeah, you can hear me okay still?
Mhm.
Okay, great. And if you can't, I'm not really sure why this is happening. But that's all right. We'll just fake it till we make it. Okay, there we go. So, um, I think that's really important is to, and that I think that's part of feeling safe within oneself is safe self-talk. And what is safe self-talk? Like how can we start to talk nice, play nice with ourselves and speak nicely instead of, oh, I shouldn't be judging. How can I be judging right now? Lisa and Shantal said not to judge other women, right? And then you're judging yourself. So it's like I like to bring in a little bit of humor because I go off track so many times through the day. If I wasn't able to calm myself right away, oh my gosh, I would just be not a spiral up, it would be a spiral down. So I'm like, oh wow, I'm judging again. That's usually the voice. Do you remember Archie Bunker, Edith Bunker's wife? Oh wow, I'm judging again, and I calm myself with a little bit of humor.
Mhm.
And that
Yeah.
is sacral chakra. But there's no way I'd be able to humor myself when I catch myself judging myself or other people if I didn't feel safe within me first. So again, if we're not feeling safe, we're not going to really feel pleasure. And then why on earth would we commit to something that doesn't bring us pleasure and doesn't bring us safety? So I see how this commit to you really revolves into those lower chakras. Yeah, I absolutely love that. And I love how she says, Heather Ash says here, remember committing to yourself is a layered process. And the process of it is to say yes to all of you, the parts you love and the parts you don't. So that's, the farting in bed. And when we cut our spouses or friends or family off when they're talking. My husband David, that happens all the time. And as much as I've gone through warrior goddess training, he has actually been on the receiving end on the masculine side. So it's interesting because he'll warrior goddess me back. And that is so interesting. That's all I'm going to say about that. But it's like you said, the magic happens when you let go of what you think you should be because, oh my gosh, society says, or it says on social media, or our teachers, or our parents, or our friends, or magazines, or the media has said we need to be a certain way. And Warrior Goddess Training is a revolution to get women to love all of you. And that is what integrity means, is it includes the whole, all of it, every piece.
Yeah, it definitely does. All the parts that you wish were different, from your physical features to, some of your emotional attributes. I mean, it all makes up who you are. And, you might think that you're not good enough, smart enough, pretty enough, small or big enough, but judging yourself, your own self-judgment, um, grows into thorny weeds, as Heather Ash says, thorny weeds that block out the sun of truth. So let's start by dismantling all of those judgments that we hold against ourselves so that we can feel safe to express ourselves in a more positive way, in a more loving way, in a more joyful way.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, it's so true. Um, but it takes willingness. If you're not willing, nothing's going to happen. And you don't have to always get it right. The fact is just showing up without this idea of perfectionism is, I think, really important. And it's being able to recognize that from judgment, the antidote is discernment, is to
Mm-hmm.
recognize the facts. And judgment, you're having a opinion, a self-inflating opinion about something beyond the facts. You're looking at the facts, but
Or
you're judging it. You're having that, well, that egoist relationship
mm-hmm.
with what the fact is. So one of the most powerful ways to reconcile judgment is to look at discernment and just focus on the facts, period. That's one thing with Heather Ash Amara that really stuck with me as well through the facilitator training is that we keep speaking, we start to speak our truth, but then we make excuses for it. And then we go on and on and on instead of speaking our truth, period. Put a period
Right.
on it, say a complete sentence, focus on what you want more of, and everything will fall into place from there. But it's getting to that point that we can commit to ourselves and not think that we're being selfish. and we feel that power within is what power is. It's not money, it's not fame, it's not Facebook likes. It's even though do you see how we're accustomed now to going viral and that is our worth? Well, I like to think of my self worth without any external people, places, or things. And it's all internal. Now, is that easy? No. Is it accessible? Yeah. Is it simple? Meh. It takes time. And that's why we keep showing up and doing the work. And I found it interesting, Lisa, that when we were planning this Facebook Live, that we both wrote in the companion book, and your answers were really, what do you call it? Were very familiar. And same with mine. And do you want to share some of that?
Sure. I don't mind sharing because I think it's very helpful for me. Um, Now, just to remind everybody, we were talking about how long ago we got these books. So we're talking 8 or 9 years ago. In the workbook, there's places to journal. And so the question was write down without judgment where you give your true power away, exchanging it for old ideas of power. Being mindful not to be judging yourself. And so I wrote, too often, I don't let my voice be heard. I shrink back, afraid of confrontation. In fact, I shrink back even when there won't be confrontation. I'm afraid to put myself in a position to be seen. And this is something that it's a theme. It's a theme in my life. I'm not gonna lie. It's a theme. So, and not having picked this up for several years, it was one of those moments where I was like, okay, maybe I should be further along than I am. But this time I looked at it without any judgment because I was just like, oh, it is what it is. That's cool.
It is
Maybe I'll learn
cool.
more
It,
from. Yeah, it is cool.
yeah. And it's cool
Did,
because you're able it for you to say it's cool, and I look at that without judgment and with love and understanding and self-compassion and sovereignty. That's like, yeah, why do we always have to get things right? And what
yeah.
is right? How about we learn from the past? And right now you've gotten to the point where you're able to look at it with discernment, with curiosity, and now maybe you're able to move forward from that theme, and at least you're looking at it without judging yourself, because
Mm-hmm.
judgment takes up so much space. It's like having
Mm-hmm.
10 tabs on the computer and never shutting your computer off. It's
And what
eventually
about the
gonna,
Oh, I was just going to say the energy that it
yeah,
takes to keep those tabs open,
yes,
right? And it's not, when you're judging yourself, it's not good energy. It's not a good vibe. You're just pushing yourself down, making yourself heavy and miserable. So,
yeah,
did you,
absolutely. I wrote, what page was that on?
that's on page 8,
Okay.
middle of the page.
What was it at the top? Were you reading from the
No,
top or the bottom? Here.
I was reading from the middle.
Oh, from the middle. So,
Mhm.
in so this one, in so doing, you have an opportunity to choose again the next time the same situation arises. Is that what you wrote after that?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't get into what I would do given the opportunity to change it, but that was what I recognized as a thing for me.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to read mine.
You don't have to. You can
I'm
either
like,
step in or step out, Chantel.
oh, right. Oh, can I take my own medicine?
Yes, you can. You
I,
can.
I'm looking at this and I'm like, how confused was I back then? I'm like, oh my Lord. I love this because 9 years later, we're looking and we see it in a whole new perspective. And that is why we keep showing up. That is why it's like we urge women to, hey, keep showing up for yourself. You don't have to have the ducks in a row. You don't have to have it all figured out. You can show up in safe space however you show up. And even if it's a hot mess, to me, that's amazing. That is authenticity and vulnerability as a strength, right? Being authentic and knowing that you may be vulnerable, but it's a strength. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, so let's go back to commit to you. So one way to commit to you, an activity that the people watching now live stream or on the replay, mirror gazing, looking in the mirror and looking really closely and staying there for as long as you can, whether it's 5 seconds or I remember I've done this so many times over the years and I would go like, ooh, yuck, gross. I would say that so many times. I'm like, okay, I got to get that out of my system. Ooh, yuck, gross. And then I'm like, yeah, but Chantal. And then I start looking into my eyes and I start crying from ooh, yuck, gross to crying to thinking, hey, babe, you're pretty awesome. You've done a lot of things in your life. And I look beyond maybe the puffy eyes and the wrinkles and that hair. Well, you have one out my ear too that grows really long. I'm like, oh my God, the hair. And then it's like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It does not matter because that's not what this is about. So how's your experience been with mirror gazing?
It's quite similar. I probably don't think I've ever said "ooh, gross" to myself, but it usually does lead to me pulling out the tweezers or something for a minute. Yeah, and then sometimes I pick things apart, but there's okay, probably more often than not, I probably pick things apart, but um, I try to focus on you know things. When I look at myself, I say to myself some things that my husband has said to me, um, like about the wrinkles around my eyes. It means I've laughed a lot, and he likes to think that he put those wrinkles there. Or, how he always used to say about my eyes, how my eyes light up when I smile. And so I try to talk to myself using his words to just focus on the things that stand out and that maybe other people have said to me too, and not so much on the stray hairs or or the wrinkles, or I have a little red mark on my face here. It's been there for several years. It's like a big red. I have one red cheek and the other one is fine, but so try to look at myself more with curiosity and affection
Mm.
than judgment and contempt.
Oh, huge. And you like with the Instagram and the social media posts that I do, I watch the reels that I post a lot. And and it blows my mind how much I have been through in my life. And I've pushed it down and said it was no big deal. Oh, it's no big deal. It's no big deal. And it's like, oh my gosh, Chantal, it is a big deal. And not to have power over, but to give myself credit that I have committed to myself. I've ended up in some pretty sketchy situations in my life more than once, because I like to test limits. I've always been that way, and it's part of how I show myself that I can do it. But sometimes those situations haven't come out for the best, or for my own good, and yet I've gotten through them. And I still kept committing to myself over and over and over, even though I might have messed up. I might have messed up. I didn't learn the lesson, and I kept repeating it. I kept getting into the same situations with the same kind of people for a lot of my life until I was probably well into my 30s, and I'm 55 right now. So warrior goddess training for me couldn't have come soon enough. So thank you for that, Lisa. And I think being able, like you said, to not condemn yourself for the past. Just go back and learn. Learn from it. We can't change the past. People say rewrite a new story. Well, I feel that you can't really rewrite the story because it's in the past, it's done, but you can rewrite the ending. You can go back and give it a whole new meaning to your present moment now. And that is how you commit to you to be able to transform power over into power within. So mirror gazing. What's the other one? What's the other activity that Heather Ash suggests for us?
Well, there was in the book there was one that I filled out, that it was name your female role models, and I want to just read what is written here, in the book by Heather Ash. Honor the women who inspire you for their contributions and wisdom, but recognize that you are not going to be just like them. Do not use them against yourself. Be aware of the sneakiness of self-judgment. Remember, you can't be your mentors exactly because the world needs you to be you. And I just want to go back to what you were saying about the things you've been through in your life. You and I met, I think, in 2014 or 2015, around there. And so I really didn't know you that long or even that well. But in this book, when it said list 3 female role models and their warrior goddess qualities and actions that inspire you, you were number 1 on my list. And I wrote what I love about her. I wrote, I love how true she is to herself. She is authentic and brave and is lovingly honest. And so I just want you to know that the world sees you, and the people who take the time to know you see you. And so I'm glad that you also see yourself, even if you're hard on yourself some days. I'm glad that you see yourself.
Thank you, Lisa. That means so much. And yeah, I don't know what to say. I'm speechless. That means a lot.
Well, we've been talking about a lot of this stuff for a long time, and we keep coming back to it because it's kind of the connection that brought us together, is just both trying to figure out what we do with what we see. And I'm just really thankful for, accidentally running into you in a yoga class one day and having the nerve, which I never would have done, to just walk up and introduce myself and start talking to you, because there's a reason why we were both in that same class at the same time.
I love that. That was at Higher Health. I was teaching. No, was I teaching it, or was I taking it?
No, you were taking it. It was a workshop that we were at. and I saw you at the front of the room, and I was hiding in the back. But I did. I heard you talking, and I walked up and started and introduced myself and started talking to you. So
And it's really interesting because my son Mackenzie and Lisa's son Hunter are BFFs, and
mhm.
their girlfriends are currently very good friends, and that was all organic. It just happened, and both of our sons compete in powerlifting, and it's amazing to hook up with Lisa. And we may not speak for a while, but every time that we see each other, we don't skip a beat. So I think that's truly truly amazing. So writing down the female role models, one of mine was Laura Croft with
Love
Angelina
that.
Jolie, because she's so badass. And Charlize Theron, like, I know they're movie actresses, but just the confidence, and just, I don't
Mm.
know, they're sensual and they're strong and they own their own space. I absolutely love that. And yeah, I think it doesn't matter who it is, right? Like when we do this work with Warrior Goddess Training, we don't have to confine ourselves in a box, that we have to write down the perfect answer. That's exactly what we're getting away from. Just listen from your heart, because your heart is at a different vibration than thought. And what's in between the heart and the brain is the throat chakra, where we speak our truth. Vishuddha, it's where we speak our truth, but it's also how we listen. And it's the filter between the head and the heart. So when you're answering these questions, or when you're looking at yourself, mirror gazing, some of the activities in Warrior Goddess Training Companion book, to actually embody what you're being taught, it's very important to come from self-compassion and love. And I've always, not always, but I've often said, if you're not able to find that self-compassion, back off a little bit. Take a break. Go do something you like. Go soak your feet. Change your clothes. Practice yoga. Have a nap. Do walk, exercise, do whatever you want to change that energy that's inside of you, to transform it, and then come back. Because maybe we go too far, too fast, too soon. And
Yeah.
we feel like it might be a rubber band. So pull yourself back a little bit. If you're not able to come from that space of compassion, self-compassion, just back off a little
Mm-hmm.
bit. Try it again another day. It's okay.
Exactly. Exactly. And it might take you months, or it might even take you years. It doesn't matter. The universe doesn't care. The universe doesn't care how long it takes. The universe cares that you're turning your attention to where it needs to be,
Yeah, and that,
eventually or repeatedly.
well, exactly. And that you keep showing up. Because remember, this can
Hmm.
take, I'm not even saying hours, it can take hours, it can take years, like you said, it can take lifetimes. It can
Hmm.
take lifetimes to sort out what karma is going on. And to me, I've gotten into a relationship with karma that, to me, it's a sign of course correction. I don't beat myself up anymore, and
Mm.
just keep growing that glow in inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. So, who's ever watching right now, can you say a hello in the comments? Let us know. Let us hear back from you. This is Lisa and I talk about this stuff all the time. Oh, and oh,
Teresa is here. Hi, Teresa.
hello, Teresa. You want to say, "What's up, girlfriend?" I don't see that at all. I don't see any comments. Um,
That's okay.
oh,
I saw it earlier.
oh, there we are.
Yeah,
Hi,
she's,
Teresa. Yes, I love it. I love it. Hello.
and
I'm
she just said hello again.
Yay. There we go. And I'm gonna love it. Oh, it's not letting me like it. Oh, I really want to love it, Teresa, but it's only letting me like. I will not have judgment on myself because of that technical error. Yeah,
No,
Teresa.
technology, please don't ever judge yourself on
Oh my
technology.
gosh, no. What's up,
She wrote, "What
girlfriend?
up, girlfriend?"
I love it. How is this landing, Teresa? Would you care to share? And if not, that's totally fine as well. The hello is amazing. Is good job. Good job. I love it. Does anyone else have any comments
Uh,
whatsoever? Is this resonating with you? And what? How has self-commitment shown up, or how do you want it? How do you want it to show up? How do you want commit to you to show up tonight, tomorrow? What does that look like? I love that. So amazing and very relatable. Yeah, that's one thing with warrior goddess training. I found that it's so down to earth. It's just you don't have to show up in a space that it's not who you are. And I think it's about again honoring the glow within and just grow that so much versus focusing on what you don't want, because that also takes up a lot of space. I
well,
feel this
exactly.
is a
Uh,
wonderful time to pull a card. What do you think, Lisa?
I think that would be lovely. But while you're shuffling, I would just like to share one more thing
Please
from
do.
Commit to You. It's on page 13 under additional gifts. And this is something that really, I think, resonates with what we're speaking about, but also what the message that I really hope women can take away from this. Committing to you, finding out who you really are and what you really want is the most loving thing you can do for yourself and everyone you know. So when we talk about the roles and the relationships that we have that are external to us, this will help you in that regard. But it also says there is no greater gift to the world than living with authenticity. So this is why it's important to do the work, because it's a gift to us, but it's also a gift to the world.
Absolutely. And women are stronger together than apart. So
Absolutely.
when we're able to show up and honor one another and cheer each other on and hold compassion for one another, that just radiates into our timelines as well. And that energy radiates outward. But we got to, again, feel safe within us. And part of that is that self compassion. Yeah, I believe that. I love it. I live it. I've gone to Texas twice now to train with Heather Ashamara and her amazing team. And it's always been life altering and life changing. And that's why Lisa and I are here the first Wednesday of each month to share Warrior Goddess training. And stay posted because we've got more goodies around the corner as well. Yeah, thank you for that, Lisa. That's amazing. This is our card. Are we ready? This deck came from Norway. And this deck is called the Magical Drum. And you can see this is a shaman drum that is an oval drum that is actually used for divinations. And I can hardly wait till I can get one for myself because I'm really excited about leading people into shamanic journeys, which I already do. However, having the drum for the divination is going to be amazing. So until then, we use tarot cards and this deck. And what showed up is this card. And I'll take a picture of it and post it in the comments. And this card is Rad Janaka, wife of the creator. So how fitting for talking about warrior goddess training. And the story, I'm going to read the story. It's a short story, but if you'd like, please close your eyes if that feels comfortable for you right now. If not, just soften the gaze and open the heart, soften the shoulders, soften the jaw, and feel the tongue. Selfless love, compassion, spiritual ideals or ideal motherhood, maternity, freedom, liberation, natural healing, vitality, success. Live more fully, conscious of your presence and purpose here on earth. Perfection doesn't exist, and we all have the responsibility to try our best. You are undergoing some inner change and transformation, and you are confident in your future success. Exit from a very bad period of your earthly existence. Possible start of a new love or consolidation of an existing one. Sense of liberation and freedom. You are looking at life from a new perspective. You need an uplift to your spirit. It is time to share your new ideas or simply to share more. An overall time of wealth, riches, natural healing, illumination, and spirituality, life and longevity. On the next breath out, open mouth and gentle sigh out. There we are. Wife of the creator. Amazing. That,
Beautiful.
I think, sums it all up. I love the divine alignment that we can't fake it. We can't buy it. We can't break it. We're just open to receive that. And part of committing to you is not only the action, but receiving and surrendering into the pleasure of when you're able to commit to you, however that shows up. How did that resonate, that card resonate with you, Lisa? And with
It was
you, Teresa?
it was beautiful. I think it was perfect for what we were talking about today.
Yeah, I love that. Absolutely. When we go into a space of warrior goddess training, we again honor it all. And when Heather Ash talks about committing to you, it's about committing to all parts: physical, emotional, energetic, mental, and spiritual. Because these 5 layers can be all over the place sometimes. So when we're able to see our truth and our authenticity, it doesn't matter how these layers are showing up. They come into that inner awareness, that connectivity within us, that connection, that self-connection. That, again, you can't buy authenticity. You can't buy it. You can't purchase it at the store or on Amazon. You can't borrow it from someone. It's something that we see within inside of ourselves when we're open to receive it. And Warrior Goddess Training takes us there.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
You just gotta show up. Just gotta commit.
You just got to show up and commit. And I thank you, Lisa, for showing up and going on this journey with me. And Lisa and I have created a platform a genre, a space that is safe for women to really connect to the root and the sacral chakra. And that is called the strong and sexy soul. And sensuality is a huge part of living a spiritual life because it's the second chakra, it's number two. And yet we can get kind of disrupted sometimes when we work with the sacral chakra and our own sexuality and sensuality. So that's what we are diving into. Would you like to explain what we do with the strong and sexy soul, Lisa?
Well, currently we are offering every Wednesday, we're offering several different options. We have, as we've indicated, the first the first Wednesday of each month, we have the Warrior Goddess training at 7:30 p.m. The second week of each month, we will do Guna Yoga, and that will be at 7:30 a.m. And on the third week, we'll do a deep relief meditation, which will be 7:30 p.m. and functional fitness on the fourth week, which will be again in the morning at 7:30. We've decided to alternate that to give people an opportunity to at least try to join some. And we wanted a little bit of a variety to try to appeal to as many women as possible. We also have a number of things coming up. We're looking at putting on a retreat in August, so stay tuned for more information on that. And we're also looking at a fitness program. And all of these things that we're putting on, I mean, if we're talking about functional fitness, there will be an element of talking about these things as we're going through them, and not just hardcore focus on the fitness. We want to encapsulate everything, all five layers, like body, mind, energy. We want to make sure that we're encapsulating all of those things in all of our offerings so that people are feeling things on like where they need them, I guess, and exploring more of ways to commit to themselves.
Yeah, exactly. And because we don't just show up physically. Well, we can. Okay. We can show up physically, let's say for a workout. Okay. I'm just going to go there to buff my body. Okay, great. But what happens when you include maybe some emotions, that alive feeling, that vitality that you feel at the gym? Well, that's how I feel at the gym. I don't know if other people feel vitality. I'm pretty sure they do because I think I've had some conversations like that. But regardless, when we work out, it's physical, emotional, energetic, mental, and for some it's spiritual. For me, working out, I feel so powerful working out because I've been a fitness competitor multiple times. I've been a personal trainer for over 30 years. I'm getting back into it. I might even compete next year again. And whoops, and the thing is when I go into the gym, wherever it is, whatever I'm doing, I go back to the parts of myself that maybe have not felt strong. And I go get them. I don't go relive the past experiences. I'm not about reliving anything. I'm about going back and getting the emotion from that point in time and bringing that emotion up and dropping it into the workout and saying, hey, babe, you are good enough. Hey, babe, you can do stuff that nobody else is doing. It's not in my blood to follow the crowd. It's never been since I was a little baby. So why would I start now? And to give myself permission that just show up. Just show up. just like we were talking about before. So with the strong and sexy soul, every woman has a right to feel strong. Every woman has a right to feel sexy. Period. That's it. There's more, but that's where we're starting. So these live streams Wednesday evening, Wednesday morning, Wednesday evening, Wednesday evening, morning,
Morning.
evening, morning are there to show you that we're showing up and we're inviting you so you can show up, so you can join us. And there will be replays available. You will have to contact us and DM us if you're interested in learning more about this. So the next first Wednesday of July in the evening is going to be Warrior Goddess Training. And I believe we're going to be going into chapter 2. What's chapter 2? Lisa, do you still have your book there?
I do. It's
Yeah.
called Align with Life.
Align with
Yeah.
life. And that is such a beautiful carryover from Commit to You. So once you get through that awkwardness of, when you say no to others, it's actually saying yes to you. And
You.
that's okay. It's okay. And if we're opening up something here for you that you just feel that you want a little bit more support, DM us. DM at She Achieves Studio. DM at The Strong and Sexy Soul. We will get back to you because I recognize that we're opening up this new portal of inner strength. And sometimes it can get a bit crunchy, mucky, slimy, stinky, fun. But sometimes it can be a little bit. So if you need support, then that's why we're here. Hey, Lisa?
Yes. And I just want to make a little note too. The Strong and Sexy Soul is on Facebook and Instagram. So like us, follow us, whatever, and then you can see what's going on. We'll post there, but we'll also post on She Achieves Studio just to make sure that we're um, uh, getting the messages out to people. So yeah, but we don't want you to miss anything. So make sure you look us up and like it, like us. Like
Like
us,
and
please.
follow.
Please like us.
Yeah, exactly. And this is about
That's what I was
empowering.
trying to
What's
say.
that,
It just
Lisa?
didn't come. So that was what I was trying to say, but the follow part wouldn't come out.
Fa, 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 fa. Um,
So
yeah, very, very, yeah, that's so true. And the thing is you can set your notifications for when we go live. And it may, right now, probably on She Achieves Studio, because we're just birthing the Strong and Sexy Soul. We've got that Facebook page, and maybe we can try to actually go live on the Strong and Sexy Soul. So, like both. But regardless, we will get the message out and follow us, share it with other women. If you know of any women, for whatever reason, are struggling in any way, this is safe space for women. We're here to hold space for you however you show up. So it's up to you. Again, it's an invitation, not an expectation. And we'd love to have you and we'd love to hear comments. So that's amazing.
yeah.
All right. Thank you, Lisa. I think our time is just about up. I want to say thank you to all of you who watched us live stream. We did it after hours with Andrew.
Andrew would be so proud of you.
I hit 3 buttons. He's like, Mom, you got to learn how to do this on your own, Mom, because we're working with OBS. We went live on YouTube. We went live on Facebook. We're on Zoom. We're just not live on Instagram, which is okay for right now. We will be showing reels on Instagram, but it's definitely a learning curve. And when you commit to you, guess what? You see the world commit back, however that shows up. But baby, it all starts inside.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Lisa. I love you so much.
Thank, thank you, Chantal. And I love you too.
It was so much fun. Everyone, peace out. Comment, like, share, follow, do the whole social media thing, and let's spread the word out that women are stronger together than apart. And when you live a life of strong and sexy, all of that good juju radiates and attracts. Peace out.